Welcome to the summer of 21. Cast your mind back a year, another year, etc, etc. Now we're going to go back to the year 2017, also known as the year 2017 by mad popularists out there. Let me just double check. Yes, 2017. The Young Rochelles brought out their debut album, which for me was their album of the year. And today I've decided that after all this time, it's time to do a re-review of this album, to take a look at it a few years later. What's wrong with reviewing the same album for the first time, second time, third time, fourth time? It's just a load of fun. Let's see how our thoughts change. So looking on the front cover here, an in-depth observation and investigation. We can see benches in the background, we can see... Now you know, deep in the forests of the world's countries, there's logging companies, deforestation routines. Trees are brought down to their knees, they're chopped, they're taken on logging trucks, they're sawn in sawmills, planks are made, they're made into things, housing, properties, fences and benches. So that, my friends, is possibly where these benches come from trees and logs, planks, that kind of thing. Here we have Denmark Rochelle, he's the bass singer. Here we have Cushion Rochelle, he's the clarinet accordion. And on the left here we have the drum maker, Rocket Rochelle. Behind them some foliage, some leaves. Of course that's just the band showing off that they're very into chlorophyll and things like that. The products of leaves. Let's move on to the reverse of the cover. Typical. An instrument, a member of the band. You never know what's going to go on with this wacky crew. Down here we have Sounds Rad Records. Look at this. I think we have 7 tracks on one side, and on the other side 7 tracks too. That's great. I love a 14-track album, especially when all of the tracks are damn good. And down here we have independent label distribution, which is great to know. I wouldn't like to go down to my local big name record store and see this on the shelf, published by Sony Records for only £39.99, because that's the sort of ridiculous price these big companies put on their records. So that you go down to record shop to maybe pick up a couple of records, you're only going to come back with one, and you look like a mug for wasting all your money. Now, naturally, in our world, and even in the universe, the shape of the circle naturally occurs, be it the swirl of a galaxy, the roundness of a planet, the smooth shape of a tide-worn stone. The natural shape of a circle naturally occurs, and that's why I'm so happy to see that shape emulated here with the independent label distribution logo. Let's take a look inside. We have a funny looking creature, as well as the credits of the record. Lovely. And on the back it's the lyrics of this. Did you know, alternatively, that in the past cavemen or early man would write upon the walls of caves on animal skins. Then they'd learn to communicate. The pharaohs and the ancient Egyptoids would carve. The pharaohs would actually do the carving themselves. They were skilled pharaohic masons. They would carve onto the side of their own tombs communications, writing, etc. in pictures. And then we have Dan Royd, Shakespeare back in the 15th century. We have Orson Welles, we have Billy Goat Gruff, and many other famous writers throughout the years. They all used the gift of words. And what I'm getting at is that words are used here in tradition of the human race. Words. Let's take a look within this traditional white paper sleeve. Oh, look at this. You might think it's a grey, you're double wrong, because it is grey, but it's also white with black splatter. Look at that, we have the emblem of the band, the Young Rochelles, Long Beach, New York, and on this side we have the information of the album. Isn't that nice? I'm going to give this a listen to see if it really lives up to expectations. Did you know, last week I was flicking through the TV channels, and of course Star Trek Deep Space Nine happened to be on one of the channels, like it often is, often repeated. And there was a scene with Odo, and he was talking to Quark. And Quark, you know, of course, being a Ferengi, he has these massive ears, and he's really good at hearing from a distance, as seen in the show. But it's good to have big ears, because you could listen to this record so much better if you had large alien ears. And of course Odo could make himself large alien ears if he needed to, because he's a shapeshifter. I'm going to listen to this now. Still a joy after all these years. Still a joy. The opening track for me is still the best track on the side A. I never saw the Ramones. I think that is probably going to go down as this band's best song, and the song that they're known for. You know, in the way, but the Ramones are mostly known in the public ear for their first song on their first album. And I think that might go down as well for this equally good band as the Ramones, the Young Rochelles. It's a very hot summer's day today. I'm not enjoying it very much. The floor outside is as hot as a hot steaming pancake. The clouds are parting to divulge the sun to the earth and its patrons, and different things like that. Should you go out and check out this album after all these years? If you bought it back in the day, go and listen to it now. If you don't own it, go and check it out. This is a nice piece of punk rock history. It's a lovely record, and it should be in your collection. Did you know that when I was a kid, this reminds me of something amazing. Listen up. When I was a kid, I'd collect Beano, Dandy and Buster comics, and I keep them all in great condition, and I put them in boxes, take them up, put them in the loft, and I always thought, oh, my kids could have these when I'm older. And now my kids aren't even slightly interested in comics, and they're still just up in the loft. The staples are probably going a bit rusty. Who cares though, because what I'm getting at is that was a nice collection, and this is part of my record collection, and it takes pride of place exactly there. So have a wonderful summer, my friends. Bon voyage, très bien, Sevorcia and Lurk. Those last two being foreign, non-English translations of the word onion. If you know which languages they are, do a comment underneath unless you can't be bothered. Subscribe unless you can't be bothered, and I'll see you next time, my love. Bye bye. Bye bye now. Woo!
Thank you ever so much for watching my very good video. Don't forget to subscribe to the Very Good channel and come back next week for another very good video. A video to watch. Now, it's a good video.